Amazonia is one of the richest treasuries of biodiversity. It's home to a wide variety of flora and fauna, and as it turns out, they're not the only ones which consider the Amazon jungle their home. There are also some that are more mysterious and enigmatic. In this episode, I'll show you the creatures of the Amazon jungle that no one would believe if they weren't filmed. Let's go. A picture to remember. British tourists came to the Amazonia and decided to capture this momentous event. The best way to do this, of course, was to take a picture, so they armed themselves with their cameras and took a picture. They were really surprised when they began to review the footage they had taken. In one of the villages, right behind the backs of people, somewhere in the distance in the bushes, presumably alien object was seen. The creature really looked like an alien because otherwise it was simply not possible to explain its appearance there. The video was given to a UFOologist who was a former NASA employee. The man also turned out to be an adherent of the version that people filmed a classic alien. Meanwhile, there's still a lot of skeptics who either believe in the fake and hoax or that it was one of the locals who decided to prank the people. But does every local have an alien costume on hand to prank some visitors and tourists with? That seems strange to you? Mysterious tribe. For security reasons, the following footage, although it was taken in 2017, was not made public until a year later. The National Indigenous People Foundation wanted to get a closer look at the deforestation. People were interested in the area, and all they wanted to do was explore it. But if you look a little better, the story takes on an entirely different character. It turns out that in addition to the deforestation, so interesting to scientists, there were many members of an ancient tribe in the footage. Also, there you can see their unusual tools along with wooden canoes. Researchers believe that these people are not even aware of the civilization that's around them. Their way of life looks a lot like that of a typical primitive tribe. Homemade tools, hunter-gatherer culture, living in small communities, and no one is going to interfere with them, of course. Rather, on the contrary, people find their habitat in order to protect the tribe from outsiders. The largest group of turtles in the world. Turtles do not waste any time and hatch en masse right in front of the others. Not embarrassed by anyone. This happens in the western Amazon region. The video, which was filmed by a drone, shows the baby giant South American river turtles emerging from the sand, crawling along the shore and disappearing into the water. Now they're extremely abundant and everything looks insanely rosy. But a few decades ago, the situation was much sadder. Because of the increased demand for their eggs, people hunted the turtles and brought these reptiles to the brink of extinction. Fortunately, since these creatures play an important role in the natural ecosystem, many organizations quickly rushed in to help the reptiles and corrected their situation. Now they can safely develop and weigh up to 200 pounds, growing 3.2 feet in length. This, by the way, makes the giant South American river turtles one of the largest reptiles in South America. And what we've seen all this time on video is nothing more than members of the species gathering to lay their eggs in the sun-heated sand. Such beaches are regularly patrolled by conservationists until all the turtles hatch to the last and reach the water. I think I know a creature that would give anything for the chance to be among these hatching turtles. And I'm not talking about an inveterate poacher. I'm talking about another bloodthirsty inhabitant of these territories, the anaconda. Yes, the largest snake in the world by length-weight ratio. The average length of adults is 13 feet, but there are people who claim to encounter 36-foot representatives of the species. It's up to you to believe it or not. But so far, no one has presented any evidence of such encounters. Even this huge creature that was captured on camera doesn't have such an impressive size, though it seems to be incredibly large, doesn't it? The anaconda has a patronizing green coloration with large brown spots. All this helps it to hide in muddy water or among the leaves. When a body of water dries up, it moves into neighboring bodies of water or goes downstream. And during droughts, it burrows into the silt and may remain in a state of reduced activity until the rainy season arrives. This time can be considered a full-fledged respite for the rest of the Amazon region, as the snake is capable to deal with almost any local creatures, no matter how large they may be. I was about to finish the anaconda topic when I suddenly came across this video. What do you think? Is it credible, or is it a very obvious fake? On the one hand, such a large snake could exist in the past when there was a different level of oxygen and stuff, but for it to inhabit today and also in the open terrain right in front of people sounds a little too strange to me. Personally, I'm too confused by the size of this giant. And what do you say? Maybe it's still an anaconda mutant or some other huge snake? Write in the comments. Looking at all these creatures, one can only ask one question. What kind of place Amazonia is? I suggest we waste no time and get to know it a little better. Let's go! What is the Amazon? So let's start with something basic and simple. The Amazon is the longest river, holding about 20% of the world's fresh water. Because it's so large, it's commonly said that you can explore the Amazon endlessly, but you'll never fully explore it. No one can tell you exactly why the river and the area as a whole are called that, but I can tell you about an interesting theory. It's said that in the past, there was a fierce battle between the Spaniards and the Native American tribes in this area. The first were struck by the warlike women of the Native Americans, and they named the river after them. If some of you still have no idea how huge this river is, its delta has an area of over 38,610 square miles, with a maximum width of 202 miles. Flora and fauna. As you've seen today, this place is teeming with something strange and inexplicable. Of course, first of all, this applies to the flora and fauna of the Amazon region. The plants and animals that can be found here constitute a huge genetic pool, without exaggeration. Here you can find more than 100 different species of mammals, 400 species of birds, insects, invertebrates, flowers, trees, in general, everything you can think of. All the most unusual and uncommon surrounds the Amazon region from all sides. Probably the reason for this is rather unusual climatic conditions. It's unbearably hot and extremely humid at the same time here. Even at night, the temperature is unlikely to fall below 68 degrees Fahrenheit. It's here, for example, that you can find mahogany, rubber tree, and cocoa tree, as well as unique silk cotton, the fruit of which is surprisingly similar to the cotton fiber. In addition, the water lily deserves special attention since it can even hold a human weight. Yeah, it's more than possible. One of the main inhabitants of this area, which is almost always encountered by tourists, is the capybara. This rodent is impressive in size and looks a lot like a guinea pig. This miracle of nature weighs about 110 pounds. In general, the inhabitants of the Amazon region are like a special kind of art, especially when it comes to dangerous inhabitants. Unfortunately, or fortunately, there are a lot of them here. They're for every taste. The most dangerous is the bull shark, which weighs more than 880 pounds and reaches 13 feet in length, as well as piranhas. These toothy fish can nibble a carcass down to the skeleton in just a few seconds. This also includes the caiman, a genus of alligator that has 1 million teeth and 1 trillion ways to hunt, which only the lucky ones can avoid, figuratively. Green Hell. This was the alternative name used by locals in ancient times. Many expeditions were sent to find lost cities on the banks of the river. Some of them ended tragically. The impenetrable jungle was to blame. Moreover, people used to believe that mysterious, civilized cities exist in this area, or rather on its banks. During excavations, it was possible to find mounds with archaeological treasures. Indeed, all these finds suggest that there were large settlements in these places, but almost nothing is known about their territory. However, what many people know about is the place where the Rio Negro River flows into the Amazon. It's unique in that the water of the Amazon is brown, while the other river is clear blue. Before merging, waters of different colors flow next to each other for 7 miles, which can't fail to amaze and delight the tourists who come here. That's all, guys. What Amazon footage surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and see you later.